Hi, my name is Jacob, and welcome back to Sunday Yap Session. We did it. We're we're at episode 2. I am back here again with yet another Red Bull. I promise it's a different day. And yeah, we're just here to chat. If you're new here, my name is Jacob. This is Sunday Yap Session, where every Sunday we just yap about whatever with hopefully somewhat of a clear through line and an interesting conversation to be had. If you're interested in subscribing, I would really appreciate it. I'm going to be here every Sunday waiting for you. So I feel like that was really corny. So how are you? I'm doing well. On the day I'm recording this, I just got back a day ago from going to a botanical garden that was really cool. Me and my boyfriend went. I'll put some footage in so you can see it. I didn't realize that there was stuff like that in the area that I live. I had heard about it vaguely and I decided, oh, that'd be fun to go. So we spent like a little over an hour there. It's very fun. I have beef now with CeraVe and their god-awful sunscreen. If you're a black person and you need sunscreen that it looks good, don't use that. That was a fun adventure. So if you have black friendly sunscreen recommendations, leave them below. But I think for the most part, I kind of wanted to talk today about like adult friendships and just like friendship in general. That's been on my mind for whatever reason lately. And I think like the older I get, the more friendships get complicated. Like obviously when you're just like a little kid in kindergarten, you find someone whose favorite color is the same as yours, or like you both wear like a dinosaur t-shirt on the same day in class and like you're instant best friends. You'll probably hang out for like the next several years or something. But I think adult friendships are a lot more complicated. Obviously, I would hope so. I mean, shout out to like the 26-year-old who sees someone with the same dinosaur shirt on and that becomes your lifelong best friend. If that is you and that is your story, I'm so happy for you and I'm wishing you the best. That is not my reality. But yeah, I feel like a lot of people, like especially like neurodivergent, queer, marginalized, so on and so forth people, like adult friendships, and I think just everyone in general, adult friendships are just such a weird thing to navigate, especially like when you're not in school or you're not like in some sort of like activity that you've all been forced into and you're like finding camaraderie with people kind of just in a shared experience. Like when I was in high school, I was in marching band and I played sports and I was in like academic team and I did like robotics and so on and so forth. So like there was always some sort of activity. I went to church a lot as well. So there was like circumstances for me to be like interacting with people and like to find friendship. But when you're like 26 and like you're just working your job and that's really the only place that you like have to be where other people are around, it gets a lot harder to like find friendships. And I think like the biggest difference for me that I've noticed as I've gotten older is like what I'm wanting out of a friendship has like wildly changed, and I think it's varied. And I mean, I feel like there's been like a through line throughout, but like I kind of wanted to dive in this a little bit. I don't know, I feel like when you like watch movies or like you look at the people around you, you see people that have like so many friends and they're like so well liked and blah 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 blah. And I feel like there was a time in my life where like I thought I had that. I feel like in school I felt like I had a lot of friends. I think I did. I don't know if you went to high school with me or middle school, let me know. Drag me below. But I feel like I reflect a lot on my like school friendship experiences, and I feel like more so I just had a lot of people that were around. I was able to get people's attention because I was kind of weird and different and I was pretty funny and I could make pretty much anyone laugh. And I feel like a lot of the people I hung out with, it was more like, oh, I think you're entertaining, rather than like, oh, we're like deep intimate friends. Not that I didn't also have like good friends as well. I did have a lot of them. I don't know, sometimes I like reflect on my experiences and I feel like some of my friendships were bordering on more like town jester territory than like, hey, I like you as a person. But then as I got older, the friendships that I'm like interested in are more like those kind of like best friend friendships. I think like especially this like became more of a thing in like high school and stuff. I feel like a lot of my like really close friendships are just like, it's like me and one other person. There might be like a couple other friends too that I have like coinciding relationships with to this degree, but like it's like me and that person are like inseparable. Like I think about my best friend in high school and I feel like, well, like a couple people that were my best friend, I feel like, yeah, we were just like so tight, so inseparable. Like we would just hang out all the time. Like my best friend was like at my house pretty much every weekend. We were always playing games with each other. We ended up like rooming with each other in college. Like, I don't know. I had like another friend in that time too in high school. Very similar thing. We were super close. It was really funny because at the time I was identifying as a man, and like even her parents thought that it was like so weird that like we were hanging out so much. I remember she told me, she's like, yeah, my parents like were asking like why this guy like it wants to hang out with me all the time. It took a lot of convincing to convince her parents that like, yeah, this is just an intergender, is that a word? Opposite gender friendship, and that like we're not like secretly dating or whatever. But like those are kind of like the friendships that I get in, where it's so close and so intimate that like I feel like from the outside it could even be viewed like or perceived by some as like a relationship when it really just is a close friendship. And I think too part of that is like, and I think everyone's this way, when I find people that like I really feel like we see eye to eye and like there's a lot of resonance. I really like to latch onto that because I feel like that is so rare. I feel like I can get along with anybody. I can be like friends with anybody, but like I really am like interested in those like kind of best friend friendships where like it's very like we know each other's minds so clearly, and like it isn't just like, oh, we like grab lunch sometime and so on and so forth. And like those are valuable, yes, but like I don't know, I feel like those can like build up a lot, and then at least for me that becomes stressful. And I feel like the pandemic in a lot of ways was like obviously horrible, but in some ways helpful in that regard, because I feel like, and I'm still dealing with this, but like there are times when I like spread myself way too thin and I want to be friends with everybody. I find everyone so interesting and I want to connect with people, and then like before I know it I have like 30-40 people that like I feel like I need to be texting and check in on and catch up with, and like I just like don't have the time in the day to do that, and then I feel bad and then I start ghosting people. It just becomes like this whole big thing, and let me know if anyone can relate to that, because I don't know if that's just a weird me thing or not, but like I have the urge and the drive to like befriend everyone and like talk to everyone, and like then I like get that, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like too much. This is far too much. And part of that feels kind of bad too, because like I feel like I'm in a good place now, and that place has been because I've been very intentional about who I am spending times with, which I think is a good thing. But I feel like I also like have to like turn away so many friendships. Like there are so many people who I think are like cool and interesting, but like I know now that like if I try to connect with this person, all of my friendships are going to take a ding because of this new person that I've like added to the roster. It's like a sports team almost. It's like if you add a new player, like that player's got to go on the board at some point, so like everyone else is gonna get like less playtime, I guess. I don't know why I'm imagining my friends as like sports teams. I don't really keep up with sports that much. I used to play sports a lot. I played soccer for like a decade and basketball before that as well, and now I don't do that because marching band was cooler and more interesting to me. More like I feel like I'm a performing arts girly now. But anyway, we're losing train of thought. What was I talking about? Yeah, so I feel like now I just have to be very intentional, and like if I feel myself like starting to talk to somebody and feel like we're starting to get close, I have to like check myself and think like, do you have time for this? Are you gonna start talking to this person and then like 2 months from now you're gonna get like overwhelmed because you have so many people that you have to talk to? Are you gonna like burn out and then not talk to any of these people? And I feel like I guess maybe that's just like the adult experience overall of like having to be more diligent with like your time and who you invest in, what you do and all of that. But yeah, I don't know. Right now I feel like I don't have like a ton of friends. The pandemic is part of that. All right, I ran out of storage on my phone, but I caught it. So what was I just talking about? Yeah, I was talking about how like the pandemic is just like a non-negotiable for me. So unfortunately, like a lot of my friendships, like not that we're not friends anymore, like obviously I didn't like end the friendships really, or maybe not obviously, I don't know. But like I just feel like I don't hang out with these people that much anymore. I feel like a lot of my friendships are on like hold right now. So like I guess my like main friends right now are like my boyfriend, who like I'm very grateful for, especially with the pandemic stuff. He really has not made it a big deal. Every time I bring something up or I learn some new information, he's like very down, and I'm really appreciative of that. That has been an uphill battle with so many people. Obviously my bestie, who you probably will see in the comment section of this video, and like my friends around that kind of friend circle. Me and my best friend, who's also named Jacob, are like so close in like a very like bizarre way. I feel like we have like almost the same mind. I don't know. I don't think I've had a friendship this close before. Like I'd be texting this man almost as much or more than I text my actual man. We are locked in, and that's really cool and exciting. And part of me feels awkward talking about this because I know that he's gonna watch this. Jacob, if you're watching this, I appreciate you. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like very satisfied in the friendships I have right now. Like I feel like the people, like the small group of people that I'm hanging out with regularly, I'm very grateful for. I don't really feel like I need more necessarily. Like I'm not like fiending for more friends. It's more so like I'll just like stumble across people or like mutuals I'll have online and stuff like that, and I'm like, damn, like you're really cool. There's like one person in particular I'm thinking about right now who like similar vibes. Like I saw them and like we became mutuals, and like you ever just like see someone and you're like, I think we'll get along. It's a very parasocial type shit, but like I don't know, and we've like chatted a handful here and there, and like, but it's like situations like that, and like I make room for that. I just have to be very like considerate of my energy. One thing I wanted to talk about too is that I feel like a lot of times in like friendship and stuff, like friendship is portrayed as this like forever thing, and that like if you're friends with someone, it's like a lifelong bond, and like the goal should be to be friends till the end. I don't think that's real. I don't think that's realistic. I think it's very rare that you're gonna have somebody that like you're friends with forever, or maybe, I don't know, maybe that's just cynical of me. I think that friendships all have like their season the time that they need to be, and I don't think all of those are like 30 or 40 or 50 years. Like, there are some people I was really like close friends with, people that I was really like locked in with, and like we just changed or became different people, or like, I don't know, we just like moved on, and I think that that's like fine. I don't know, sometimes I like think about that, and I think about like societal like expectations, and I start to feel bad, but then like obviously I like appreciated those people for like who they were, and we like did have like memories and share time together and stuff like that. And it's not that like I'm not sad about the friendships being over, but it's more so just like I don't think they ended badly. Like, I don't think, I've only had like a handful of friendships that have just like crashed and burned, or like we didn't see eye to eye, or like it was just like a thing where we couldn't be friends anymore. I think a lot of friendships just kind of like naturally timed out, or maybe not naturally, I don't know. I think that like some of these things aren't meant to be forever, and I don't feel that way about all of my friendships. Like, there are definitely like my bestie, for example, I feel like we're gonna be friends when we're like both old as hell. I would be very surprised if we are not friends for like decades and decades and decades, but like I don't really think that about like every person that I've ever been friends with. I mean, I think like in the beginning, obviously, like you idealistically think that like when you're friends with someone it's gonna be forever, but like I don't know. I don't think it's all that serious. Sometimes friendships are meant to be for a certain amount of time, and then like, not that like, I feel like if you say like you get what you need out of it and then you move on, that sounds very like transactional and very like not human, and that's not what I mean. More so like things will run their course, and just like nothing is forever, I don't think that like friendships are necessarily forever. And I think obviously too, I should preface that I'm talking about like healthy friendships. Obviously, if you got like a toxic friend and you're in toxic situations, which I have had my fair share of, obviously those don't need to be forever. I don't know. I feel like we're rambling at this point. Tell me about your best friend below. Tell me about the friendships you've had. Have you had like a very long lasting super friendship? Oh, there was something else I wanted to talk about. I wanted to say too that like I feel like going back to the conversation about people that have like a ton of friends and stuff, and like that kind of not being the wavelength that I'm on right now. I feel like as someone who's like in the process of recovering from being like a people pleaser, I feel like I now look at people that have like so many friends, and I'm kind of just like, I don't know. Part of me like feels like that's a little sus. And maybe for someone that's like not marginalized, and or maybe in like a environment where like you are around a lot of people that have similar backgrounds and beliefs and stuff like you, like maybe that makes sense. But like I feel like if you have that many friends, like there's some level of compromise. I feel like that's what was happening to me when I like had big groups of friends and stuff. Like I was just trying to be funny and be entertaining. All right, my camera keeps running out of storage. I think that that's a sign that we've reached the conclusion of today's conversation. Thank you all for yapping with me. Again, if you want to subscribe, it would mean the world to me. I'm gonna be here every Sunday, and hopefully you will too. At the end of this, it's gonna be some videos that it thinks you should watch. If you didn't watch Sunday Yap Session 1, maybe consider watching that. Let me know below what your thoughts about friendship.